What do you say, everybody? We are live here at Bryant-Denny Stadium, or at least right outside at the Westgate Luxury Condominiums. And you see Bryant-Denny there on the street. It's right behind me. Alabama with a thumping of Auburn, 55-3. Pretty much what we expected today. We're going to take your calls if you want to get in on the conversation. Jay Barker's set to join us here soon. I'm Mick Gillispie. We're on the BamaInsider YouTube channel. Guys, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell. That's a way that you know that we're live. And a thumbs up's a great way of saying roll tide. Roll tide to you, Brett. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Big Buck, all of you guys in the comments section. Thomas, Michael, Sydney, roll tide, baby. Nice win for Alabama, and they improved to 4-0 on the year, 55-3, just like Jay Barker drew it up. And Alabama continues to roll. Wow, what a day. Let me tell you about Westgate Luxury Condominiums as we get ready to pull Jay on the show. We're at Westgate Luxury Condominiums right here next to Bryant-Denny Stadium. WestgateAL.com is your place to check all of this out for yourself. But you're talking about a great location, which is right here next to the stadium. I can see the Walk of Champions from here on the Skygate Club on the roof. It's like the zone on the roof here, and you can like literally look in. Chris thinks that if someone wanted to throw me, someone with a good arm like Jay could throw me a stadium dog from over in the concession stands to right where I'm sitting here. So I hope that maybe one day we can try that out. But 1 to 5 bedroom units, they go from 900 to 3,000 square feet. WestgateAL.com, the Subwoof, the Sub-Zero and Wolf kitchens, which are amazing. The appliances are immaculate here. The parking's great. Everything about this place is awesome. WestgateAL.com. Let me throw them on the screen here. What's up, dude?
What's happening? How are you, Mick? How's T-Town?
It's good, man. It's good. Take the volume down just a little bit. You got the mic.
I mean, you do this to me every time. I'm getting like in 2 or 3.
There you go. There you go. What's up,
I'm bringing
brother?
her down. Man, doing well. Thank you.
Roll Tide. Now you
Roll
need
Tide.
Now you need a little more juice. Now you need a touch.
I need a little more? Okay,
yeah.
there we go.
Yeah,
coming up.
There we go.
Coming up. Perfect. All right.
So, yeah, this is exactly what you expected, right? 55-3, a blowout. I mean, really no competition.
What did I tell you that day on the pick? What was it, pick prize? I told you that he would go over. He did go over.
Yeah.
As far as Bryce Young, 385, 25 of 36, 4 touchdowns. And, man, it's great to have a producer that, like, puts all the stats up for you, like, immediately. That's great. And Jalen gets some action. Ty got a little bit of action there at the end. Great win for Alabama. I mean, this was really a team that if you talk to coaching staff, talk to players throughout the week, they saw a lot of good things on film and felt like this could be a real challenge. 14 returning starters defensively, did some things that NFL teams do on third downs, but really never got into those real tough moments like that. But Bryce did a super job again today. Running game was on par. I mean, you can't say – I mean, the only thing was the fumble on the punt return and then another fumble again on the punt return as far as with Kool-Aid. But he'll get those things straightened out. And, you know, I thought the team played really well overall. We saw a different package in there with Braswell and Dallas Turner and also Chris Anderson. He's my running back I saw yesterday at the golf tournament at Alabama. Will Anderson Jr. Chris, I gave you a shout out there. Will Anderson Jr., those 3 guys in that package, they call it Cheetah package. And, man, what a great group of guys to be able to have out there on the field at that time. They want to play those guys, whether it be first down, second down, third down, all down guys that can play with this runner pass, and that really puts a lot of athletes on the field and then gives you even another rotation of guys that can come in and play. And I just thought Alabama played a great game today. I was really happy for them. And, again, the film study this week, those guys looked at this team, really saw a team that had played really well. And surprised the Wright kid didn't get a chance to play tonight, but they talked about it during the broadcast, talking about how they wanted to kind of let this quarterback win the job, let him be the guy for the Vanderbilt Commodores. But they really practiced a lot against him, thought he might be more of a threat for them, especially in the run game. But that was not the case tonight. So Alabama comes away with another big win, and I think a lot to continue to grow on as they get ready, Mick, to head over to Arkansas and play their that road SEC game.
Arkansas made a lot of mistakes tonight in a loss to Texas A&M, a game that they could have been up 21-0 in, but they fumbled the ball going into the end zone. And Texas A&M took advantage of it and beat them. And at the end of the game, they again were driving to win in a bad snap, and that cost them. So Arkansas is going to be really hungry next week to rebound after a tough loss to Texas A&M. And Dallas. And that'll be the matchup that we'll be talking about a little bit tonight. But, kind of recapping Alabama's game, I thought the defense was excellent today.
Yeah,
Will Anderson had one of those games where you're like, okay, yeah, no wonder this guy's so good. In the backfield, making sacks, pressuring the quarterback, causing havoc back there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they played so well up front. I mean, I think, stopping the run, making big plays in the passing game. The biggest thing for them, again, is just – those guys playing together. Henry Toto, I thought, looked really great tonight as well at certain times, especially on that 1 third down play early in the game that really kind of shut them down. Really did a good job as far as just really stunting in there, getting that tackle, and making a tremendous play there to get the stop. So really, overall, I thought the team played really well. And the biggest thing about these type of games is Vanderbilt. It's tough to get up for games like this. It's tough to because you realize you beat them 23 times in a row, or 22, now 23. And, it's just one of those things where you got to say, look, as Coach Saban preaches, you can't worry about the opponent or what the name on the jersey is. You got to worry about taking care of business, going through the process, and just playing winning football. And they did that today and played solid. It's the best I've seen them play this year on both sides of football, and really in all three phases again, except for the fumbles on the kick, on the punt return.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, our producer, looked at me and said, I feel like this thing's starting to come together a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he saw the chemistry there, the way that Alabama was just looked a little bit better. Not as many penalties. They did have some turnovers, but things that can be corrected. And, Kool-Aid fumbled, but he also looked really good in the return game as well. 4 returns, 91 yards, and it always looks like he's right on the cusp of taking one back to the house.
Yeah, he does. He's a tremendous athlete. I heard one of the commentaries during the game saying, he's more of a smart guy than an athlete. But, man, he was recruited out of high school as an athlete. Like, he was an amazing basketball player, just a great athlete coming out of high school. So I don't agree with that. I mean, his top-end speed may not be what some of the other guys have been before, but he plays great coverage. He's smart about how he plays his coverage. And I just don't want anybody to be able to say that about him, because I think he's a tremendous athlete. I think he plays at a high level. I think he is, my understanding from the coaches and from the players, he's a great practice player, that he really buys into everything, wants to know what's going on throughout the game, wants to understand things on a deeper level, gets the technique down, and has played since last year, so he's got a lot of experience. So he's going to be a great player, not on that defense side of the ball, but also in the return game. And he's just got to take care of the ball. I mean, that's the biggest thing. But you can see what he does, as you talked about the return yards that he had. He's got some explosiveness about him. He's a guy that can make you miss. He's a guy that can really, be that kind of go-to guy when you need a big play in the return game. And we'll see him, I'm sure, this week really correct, holding on the ball, make sure he's catching the ball at times. I think sometimes you get a little bit relaxed in games like this, worried more about, can I get the touchdown? I mean, I think last week when Branch got the touchdown, he wished he would have been in there. This week he's probably looking a little bit ahead, trying to figure out where do I go with the ball before he catches it, and instead ends up getting that fumble. But we got it back, so that's the good thing. But he's a great player on that side of the ball. Henry To'oTo'o, as I said earlier, played great. Thought the linebackers, thought the defensive line played really well. Brian Branch has some great plays, disrupting the quarterback as well as plays as a defensive back. But overall, just happy to see them win. I mean, 55-3 over an SEC team. I don't care if it's Vanderbilt. Mick, that's a big win, and they got to celebrate this tonight. 24-hour rule, get over it, win or loss. And Alabama's been winning a lot lately.
All right, let's go to the phone lines, and I know you guys are ready to talk, and what I want you to do is just give us your thoughts on the game because you're not able to hear Jay. So what we'll do is we'll let you kind of come in, chew on things, tell us what you think, and then we'll take what you're saying, and then the two of us will break it down after a 55-3 victory. All right, let's get things going now, and we've got a full call log here.
Mick, I had no idea that our number was from my last year. 205-850-1994.
Yeah, roll tide. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Demetrius from North Carolina.
What's up, Demetrius?
Man, I'm ecstatic. I see much improvement. Much improvement. Hey, them young men came out there and played to the standard today. I'm proud of it. We got some stuff cleaned up. I want to start out by saying shout out to Ja'Cory Brooks. Somebody in the receiving corps done stepped up. I hope the young man can build on this game, and somebody else can step up also. I mean, what was the last time we had a 100-yard receiver? Last year? I mean, ain't nobody stepped up. Defense stepped up. The one fumble, okay, but other than that, man. Hey, but these young men, hey, this is starting to gel together. I love all the outside chatter about all these other teams, and hey, it was 100% go today. Hey, I hope they can build on this game and roll into next week, because Arkansas is gonna come in. You know, it's gonna be a challenge, but I want that young man, Ja'Cory Brooks, that 117 receiving yards. Hey, that just brightened my day right there. Somebody is stepping up in the receiving room.
That's right. Well, it's great to talk to you, man. We're gonna talk about Ja'Cory Brooks. Roll Tide and give us a call next week.
All right, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Thank you.
Hey, great call there. He's exactly right. We've been waiting, Jay, for the number one receiver. We came into the season thinking that it was going to be Ja'Cory Brooks. He may be that guy. Tonight, he certainly looked that way.
Yeah, and I thought Bryce had a lot better chemistry with Burton as well. So they had a little bit better, eye contact as far as seeing things and kind of knowing what the guys are going to be. They talked about they moved a lot of the guys out wide or really just put guys in kind of like, this is your position, play it. And instead of worrying about all the other assignments, they could focus on just that assignment. But yeah, I mean, he played great. I mean, last year, he really emerged. Auburn game, big catch. Made some big catches in the playoffs, championship game, and a guy that I think everybody felt like, as you said, would be the next go-to guy. And tonight, he was that guy.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines again. Jay Barker, Mick Gillispie here at Westgate Luxury Condominiums post-game rapid reaction on the BamaInsider YouTube channel. As you come on, tell us where you're calling from, who it is, and give us your take on the game, and the two of us will chew it up after you tell us what's going on. So who's this and where you calling from? Roll Tide.
Hey, guys, this is Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert?
Hey, what's up, Robert?
To echo the last caller, he's right. This is the game Alabama fans was hoping we would see in game day one when they were playing Utah State. Didn't quite see it. And, of course, against Texas, we didn't see it at all. And even last week against I forgot where they played.
Yeah.
We didn't, but even though they scored 6 more points, it didn't feel like the domination that this felt like. This is a complete game from offense, defense, special teams. We had a good special teams run. He fumbled. He fumbled, but it was a good run.
Yeah, it was a great run.
Vanderbilt couldn't do anything with the defense. Mr. Anderson is back to being the Terminator again. And Bryce gets the first 300-yard plus game of the season, throwing the ball downfield on time, 2 receivers in stride. That's what we were wanting to see from day one. It took longer than we hoped to get here, but it looks like they finally did a complete game. Now the goal is, like Nick Saban keeps reminding us, we haven't had a really solid domination on the road in quite some time. That's just Mississippi State. We need to take this on the road into a hostile environment that is Arkansas. If we dominate there or have a good showing, we're on our way. Georgia had a stumble today. It wasn't the crisp and clean play that we've seen the first few games out of them either. So what we're seeing is any given Sunday, anybody all teams can fall down, and the least people you expect can make a game out of it. That's why I'm, so supportive of this, the playoff expansion, because, hey, no, we don't know who can win in a 12-team playoff, especially now, will the same team prevail? That's not turning out to be the case anymore. And with NIL and all the other, and with transfer portal, it's going to be more and more, less and less separation from the top teams and the teams in the middle, at least especially the top 10. We're going to have some really good playoff games when that expansion happens. So these teams are starting to get even with each other, similar to the NFL. And when that happens, a lot more excitement is going to happen in college football. But it was great to watch, great to see. Auburn squeaked by barely as usual. I thought the U-Haul van was parked at Harson's house. Missouri saved it off. He saved it off for one more weekend until LSU. Then the van will start parking again. But okay, he gets to survive another weekend. That's how it goes in the game. But yeah, it was a great game to watch. They're clicking on all cylinders. Great to see Ja'Cory Brooks emerge, but and Trayshawn Holden, he's holding steady. but we got to take this on the road. When it's on the road in a hostile environment, that's when the guys have to step up, especially with the receiving corps. Can you guys take this on the road? We're about to find out. But it was a great game to watch, and Roll Tide, guys.
Roll Tide, thank you.
Roll Tide, right? Robert from Mobile, always a great call.
Hey, Mick, real quick, David Kendall put up a great comment there, so I want to see. I think he's talking about Jamarian Miller, the running back, run the ball more, especially behind our starting O-line. I thought he looked really good there at the end of the game. He has got great feet, low balance, his lean and all that, like you see in a lot of great running backs. And I was the same way going, man, I haven't really seen this guy run the football. Was very impressed with a couple of things I saw, just his footwork, feet low to the ground. I don't know. He looked pretty special. And he looks like he could be pretty strong, pretty tough, especially in short yardage type situations as well. I don't know. When I saw that comment, I was like, man, I thought the same thing when I saw him come in, some of the runs that he had. But great call by that guy.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the super chat as well, David Kendall. And a Roll Tide to you. And going back to Robert's conversation, which I agree. I was thinking to myself, like, Miller's going to take one here. Yeah. And I looked over at Frank, who's up here watching the game, and I said, hey, don't be surprised if Miller doesn't get in the end zone on this drive. They're just trying to run the clock out, but he's going to end up busting one. So when it happened, I looked over and yelled, see, I told you. Because you just know, kind of watching what he's able to do. And, he's going to earn some playing time. And then going back to what Robert said, I couldn't believe it when Auburn Jesus reached out and knocked the ball out of the Tigers, the other Tigers' hand when he was going in for the win. That Auburn Jesus, every time you turn around, there he is. I think Brian Harsin could still get fired even though he won the game, because I think everyone at Auburn is just so irritated with the direction of the program, whether it's fair or not. I've never seen a team win games in a weirder fashion than Auburn.
Yeah, it's amazing. From what happened with the tip ball against Georgia, kick 6 that same year. So hopefully there'll be no more of those types of plays the rest of the year for Auburn. But, I mean, when it happened, I was just like, sure, it's going to happen. Yeah, that's right.
That's how it always happens.
That's how it always is. That's how they win, especially, big games or comebacks like that. But, it's crazy. My son Harrison's down in Auburn today for one of his buddies from high school, and we were talking this morning on FaceTime. He's like, I hate this place. But he does. He loves his friends, and he's just messing around. But they celebrate their 21st birthday. So happy birthday, Cam. I know you guys listen in a little bit with us, but hopefully they're doing well. But, yeah, I mean, just to win like that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just Auburn luck. I don't believe there's an Auburn Jesus.
It's you don't believe in Auburn Jesus?
No, I
saw him on the field today. No, it's not the same Jesus. It's a different Jesus. All right, let's go to the phone lines again. And like we talked about, just give us what your thoughts on the game, and then we're going to chew it up and talk about it after you get off. But great having all you guys after a 55-3 win for Alabama. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hunter from Alabama.
What's up, Hunter?
How's it going?
Roll Tide, man. Your thoughts?
Roll Tide.
Yeah, so my thoughts on the game are much improvement. I think there's some things that we still got to clean up. I think we should get JoJo Earl back going into next week's game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll help along with the wide receivers. But Jacory stepping up was a big thing tonight, and I just thought we looked more like a Alabama team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This during this game. So I think I'm not as nervous anymore going into this Arkansas game, going to this SEC stretch as I was, last week and the week before. So. I think they were going in the right direction now.
I agree. Yeah, awesome. Great call. Yeah,
Roll Tide
I agree. Roll Tide. And
Hunter
totally
Alabama.
Yeah, totally agree with him.
I can feel it.
Tonight was a complete game. I mean, it felt like it looked different. It felt different. The team looked different on the field. They looked more confident. They looked like they're playing more at the level everybody expected them to play first game, as the first caller talked about. And Hunter, great call.
All right, let's do it again. Right back to the phone lines with Jay Barker and Mick Gillispie on the BamaInsider YouTube channel. Who's this and where are you calling from tonight?
What's up, Mick? This is Sam from Alabama, man.
Hey, what's up,
What's up,
Sam?
You got it, brother.
We're feeling good.
Offense, defense, and special teams, man. Offensively, I think we kind of rounding the corner a little bit, you know.
Yep.
I guess we were kind of playing. Soften up the defense by passing the ball, and then we'll run the ball later on. You know, that's the way it seems today. We still got to clean up some things with some penalties on offense. Jermaine, what's his name? Miller, what's his name? The running back?
Yeah, Jamarian.
What's the running back's name?
Jamarian
Miller.
Jeremiah. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of kind of a Josh Jacobs. He kind of reminds me of Josh, a real quick, shifty, kind of fast running back, real tough. And defensively, played better, man. Played better, played with some aggression. I just think that defensively, looking down the line, we got to clean up some things on the edges, which is at our cornerback position, because that's where Arkansas and Tennessee is going to attack us. You know, on the edges with our corners, down the field, back shoulder passes, you know. And special teams, man, you got to give it up to Will Riker, man. He's the best thing going today, brother. And finally, we got to clean up the muff punch. You know, we got to clean that up. And, you know, we just clean up a few things. I think we'll be fine, man. But I appreciate you all for taking my call, man. And I'll hang up and let you get some more calls in,
Hey,
man.
thanks, Sam.
Have
Roll
a
Tide,
good one,
man.
and,
Great call, Jay. Before we go back to the lines again and talk to more of you guys, let's just reiterate it. I think he's exactly right. I mean, you can feel this team starting to mold into shape. They're turning it up a notch, Jay, because the schedule is forcing them to turn it up a notch. Next week, they're going on the road to Arkansas.
Yeah, the most complete game I think I've seen them play this year. And the biggest thing, too, I mean, like, go back to what he's talking about, receivers on the outside. For a quarterback and receiver to throw that back shoulder throw against man-to-man, which Alabama likes to put their guys on islands, I think when you play the Tennessees or you play it like tougher opponents, even against Arkansas, if they're beating you at that, then you got to then go more to a zone, like a two or two-man type look. Give them some help over the top so they can play underneath it and make sure they can't get the back shoulder throw. They did it a lot last year, did more of that they've done in the past. So I think they've got some answers for it. I think tonight they just feel like they could get away with man-to-man. They got some good throws on them, but their defense played awesome. But, you know, that's the hardest play for a defensive back to make. It is so hard for them to cover that back shoulder throw. If it's thrown perfectly, if the receiver runs the route, is able to stop and let the guy keep going, and a lot of times you see a push by the receiver, by their inside hand on the outside to push the defensive back by him. A lot of times it didn't get called at all, hardly ever does. And it's just a tough play for the defensive back. So in that position, when you see a back shoulder, just realize, I mean, that's probably the hardest play in football on defense for them to defend, and you're going to get some of those type of plays. But they'll do things behind it. They'll get some safeties over the top, let those guys play underneath and maybe get some balls picked off, or at least be able to break them up against better teams.
All right, back to the phone lines again with Jay Barker and Mick Gillispie on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Like and subscribe as you hang out with us, guys. Give us a thumbs up, hit the bell so that you know when we are on, and that includes after every Alabama football game here at Westgate Luxury Condominiums. Who's this and where you calling from?
Jeff Stapleton, Selma, Alabama.
What's up, Jeff? Roll Tide.
What's up, Jeff?
Roll Tide, buddy.
Roll Tide.
What's going on? That was a good win, wasn't it? We needed that. We needed that win.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. What you got?
I think that the offense and the defense is gelling pretty good. Because isn't it true what they said, that you don't really know what your team is until like the sixth game, but you know what they are about. You kind of know what they are by the fourth game, because they're gonna either win games or not win games, and Alabama's on that way to doing that. And we're in SEC play. And so what do you think about the game there?
Hey, well, thanks. Yeah, great stuff, Jeff. Thank you, man. Roll Tide. And Jay, what do you think?
No, I agree with. I mean, I think that this team, everybody looks at thinking, get all these guys back, but at wide receiver, especially tonight, I thought they looked the best as far as in continuity and really having rhythm together and some experience together. And it does. He's right. It takes games to get that if you don't have guys returning. So you saw tonight where he kind of went back to Trayshawn Holding a few times. Ja'Cory had a great game. Burton really coming on. And again, and it was talked about because Coach Saban talked about it. They moved these guys and said, look, here's your position. This is it. You got to play here. And I think that's a good move on their part because they were trying to, based on lack of experience, say, look, you got to play all these different positions. We can put Burton in the slot. But instead, I think he's a better X guy, a guy that's outside that can really do things out there and make plays. So they're going to get better as weeks go on. But tonight, it was their best night. I think showed a lot of chemistry. And also offensive line, you got to get the offensive line. Terrific job by them. Pass protection. He had a lot of time back there and as well as the run game.
Injury update. You saw Cameron Latu, right? He hurt his knee, had to be helped off the field. Chris tells me that he came back. I kind of saw him come back in too. Yeah. And then Byron Young, a sprained ankle. So, I mean, you're not talking about any major injuries, but, when you play the game of football, guys get banged up.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just part of the game. And everybody worries about, okay, get a guy out, do this. But there's certain things that as coaches, you got to get your team to do and perform. And whether it's coming out at halftime and having a couple of drives like they did with Bryce. I mean, I had to get in Texas going, texts from all friends and people going, get him out of the game. I'm like, well, there's a plan behind this, and I got to get over that over. I got to get to that over and beat Mick on the passing yards.
You're going to turn this into something. I mean, exactly. You did win. I went under. What about the rushing?
Remember, I listened to my coaching by you, and I said, okay, I'll go under. See, I'm coachable. You're not.
Okay, well, hold on. It was 15 yards?
Yeah, what do you end up with? Yeah, what do you know?
You went over, remember? You said it was 1 yard.
No. Remember, I changed it.
You changed it because you're coach, right?
I said I got coached up by you and said, you're right. I think you're
6
right.
Yards, yeah. 6 yards. Right. So you won that one.
Hey, no, but at least I went back. I mean, I at least heard your coaching, and I went back before the show was over. And I said, okay, I'm going to go under now. And I told everybody to mortgage their house, take all the money you got, and bet on over and under. And hopefully they did. And hopefully you're all enjoying the riches tonight.
Everybody's just throwing the money
That's
up.
Right.
Show me the money.
I love it.
All right, let's go back to the phones again on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, talking about Alabama's 55-3 win over Vandy with Jay Barker and Mick Gillispie. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Adam. I'm calling from Georgia, and I just have a couple of comments to make. Number one, I think we need to start Terry and Arnold and Ricks at cornerback. I think we need to establish more balance in the offensive attack, and I think we need to blitz more.
Yeah, look, you bring up some stuff that I'll refer to Jay on. Great call in Georgia, and I know over there you need Alabama to pay those dogs back so that you can have a little peace of mind over there, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Georgia won by 17 points against Kent State today. There's no reason why we should not beat Georgia, but our defense needs to get more pressure on the quarterback, and we need to have Ricks and Arnold, and we need to have more balance in the running game. We're passing a bit too much. We need some running backs to step up and really bring that balance so that Bryce can really, air it out.
Hey, great call. We're going to talk about what you just said because I'm going to tell you the same. I'm going to say the same thing. I noticed that too, Jay. I felt like it seems like we pass first and run second. And then there were a couple of times in the game where Alabama ends up falling back into must-pass situations because of a sack or, whatever, or an incomplete pass. And normally Alabama's a much more balanced team, but I feel like that the balance is pass heavy and then run light. Did you feel the same way? And why are they doing that?
No, I feel that way. And I think he makes a great point that you want to be able to run the ball when you want to run it, not when you need to run it or when you have to run it. And the same way, you want it to be so balanced that they don't know what's coming at them, run, pass, jet, sweeps, screens, all that type of stuff. So that's the thing that I think a lot of what you've seen over these last few games is that they're going to stay as vanilla as possible. They're not going to show any kind of trick plays. They're going to give you a few things here and there, but they're waiting for SEC big-time play. And so they were able to stay kind of in their little bit more vanilla offense, still passing the ball down the field. I told you, I felt like because Bryce's last week was not maybe the Bryce Young, you normally see that he was going to have a big game this game. I thought the game plan was designed in that manner for him to have a big game. And look, there's some games you're going to have to pass it to win it. And the great thing about him, if he gets protection, he can find the open guy. He can make an accurate throw, and he's one of the best I've ever seen at it. He really is. Of all the quarterbacks that I've seen at Alabama in the last so many years, just all around, his mental game, his composure, his movement in the pocket, outside the pocket, being able to run when he needs to, but then also stepping up, making the big plays in those big moments. He is as good as any of them that have played over the last few years that are now first-round draft picks and second-round draft picks and playing well in the NFL. So, look, they'll get it together. He brings up a great point. I think the balance will come, and I think you'll see different run and pass versus different teams in the SEC where they've got to use those things or where they feel like they've got some type of strength against a look, defensively, scheme-wise, or the players they're going against in those one-on-one matchups.
Well, he also talked about the blitz, and Nick Saban tries to avoid the blitz because, as he says, he coaches the secondary, and
Right.
when you don't get there with the blitz, your guys get burned. But at the same time, the blitz is a really important weapon when it comes to making big plays. Do you think that Alabama's maybe a little vanilla early on in the season with the blitzes to establish those guys up front? Could that be why? And then eventually when they get into some of these other games, they may incorporate more? Or do you think this is what we'll expect from this team?
No, I think vanilla tonight. I think you even saw they really haven't unleashed the cheetah package with those three guys, Braswell, Turner, and Will Anderson Jr. in the game at the same time as much as they did tonight. That's the next step. And I think out of that personnel, you're going to see blitzes that are going to be very tough for even Georgia and other teams to handle because you got three edge rushers, great athletes, Henry To'oTo'o, you got Jalen, you got other guys, even from the secondary, Brian Branch, that could plug in. He's a great blitzer. If he doesn't get the quarterback, normally he knocks the ball down. Got great instincts. I mean, he is one of the best safeties I've seen there in a long time. And him and Jordan battle both. I hope I saw where Jordan got banged up a little bit, but hopefully he's going to be okay. I haven't seen any kind of injury report on him, but I know he went down there for a second. He is the leader of that secondary. But you're going to see more of that as the year goes on against certain teams where they feel like they got to dial it up and get some plays or get a turnover, or they feel like they've got a strength against their protection as they kind of study those guys throughout the week. But they've got the athletes to do it, and I think they'll dial it up when needed. But you're right about Coach Saban. He doesn't like it because he wants to get burned.
No. He doesn't like that. He's the one that coaches those guys, and he admits that. With Jay Barker, I'm Mick Gillispie on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Guys, as you hang out with us after Alabama's 55-3 victory at Bryant-Denny Stadium, which is right behind us here, please give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying Roll Tide that you appreciate the show. Also, hit the bell. And anytime that we go live with a show, it includes this show after every game. That includes recruiting with Andrew Bone, Monday Night Quarterback. I mean, basically running through all of our shows. Monday Night Quarterback, recruiting with Bone, Kyle Henderson on Wednesday. Jay and I, Tuesday and Thursday, have a show that comes on, about 2 o'clock every, 2:30, just depends on Alabama and what they're doing with all of their press conferences. By the way, we have those. We have the tailgate show on Friday, this show on Saturday. So we're always doing stuff with Alabama, and you can watch it on your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on your television, YouTube. It's free, but subscribe and be a part of it. And we're really proud of this channel.
I got it behind me.
He's got it behind him. 100,000 subscribers is our goal. We want to have as many as people who are in Bryant-Denny Stadium tonight. So share, tell your friends about it, be a part of it. And also, we joined On3. So you can see my hat there. Last year, we left Rivals and we went to On3, and we want you guys to make that switch with us. You're talking about Shannon Terry, who's really the guy that's created all of this stuff. He's a genius. We're really happy to be working with him. Jay's a longtime associate and friend, and they're putting this thing together the right way. So we want you guys to be a part of that as well. Go to BamaInsider.com and join there, and you get Andrew Bone and Joseph Hastings recruiting. You get the message boards with Jimmy Stein and Clint Lamb, our good buddy Clint Lamb, who covers the team for us. But you also get a nation's worth of the best that are on 3. So, Jay and I both feel like it's really cool to be a part of this because there are so many people who are the best at what they do that are part of On3. And you guys are definitely welcome to become, members and be part of that as well. And look, Kevlar, Super Chat, $20.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And you make a great point. The team is starting to figure out their identity at the right time. And how about Barron creaming Jordan Rogers? I saw that on the TV.
That was
He
awesome.
says he'll never forget that play. Tom Hart and I have been really good friends for years. And Cole Kublik, I know he's an Auburn guy, but he is excellent at his job. And so is Jordan Rogers. They're really good SEC network broadcasts. They make you laugh, and they kept playing that over and over again. I thought he handled that well. Jay, if we were doing that to you right now, would you handle that as well?
I
would, played a hit.
I hope so. Maybe I would, or maybe I would, but I hope I would. But no, but it was awesome to hear Cole also talk about how that he was in the presence of greatness with Coach Saban, that he loved the trip down to Tuscaloosa and talking football and all that, being an Auburn guy, being accepted, and was on Hey Coach on Thursday night. I thought that was really cool of him to bring that up and talk about it, and to talk about that. Hey, I was there as an SEC guy, but he was there as an Auburn guy. But Alabama people accepted him because he came in, and he does a great job broadcasting on Jocks, as well as what he does for the SEC network, and really knows the game. And that's what I really appreciate and respect about him.
You know what I like about him is that he's just real.
Yes.
I don't feel like he's on the radio trying to talk over my head or he's smarter than me. He's just a regular guy that knows a lot about football.
Yeah,
he makes you laugh.
Nose. Yeah.
Right. He makes you laugh. He doesn't take himself too seriously. And so he's made a great name for himself by just being somebody that's really good at his job, but being one of us. So, much respect for Cole and, and kind of what he's accomplished in his career. So, and I like their broadcast a lot. All right, let's go back to the phones again, Jay. And as you hang out with us, just tell us what you think about the game, and Jay and I will chew on it after Alabama's 55-3 win over Vandy. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
This is David from Louisiana. Roll Tide.
Hey, what's up, David? Roll Tide, man.
Not much. I'm glad that me and Jay, as well as you, have great minds when it comes to Jamarian Miller. I'm telling you, he is something special. I watched him last week in the second half whenever they put him in against ULM. He is a hard downhill runner. He has a burst. He reminds me of a mixture of, in my personal opinion, a little bit of Trent Richardson and maybe some Jacobs as well. He's really strong. He's got some legs on him. As far as offense, the offensive line meshed really well tonight. Bryce wasn't scrambling as much as he normally has in the past few games. Receivers are doing pretty good. They made some catches. Defense was on top of their game tonight. The DBs, they got to start learning to kind of look back at, kind of keep their heads on a swivel a little bit more often, because in pass interference calls, if it was in a big game, in a playoff game or SEC championship or something like that, could be a detrimental thing. I know it happens, but they have got to start learning how to turn their head a little bit more often as well. Just kind of keep an eye on the quarterback as much as they can. A lot of people don't like O'Brien. I'm not a big fan of O'Brien myself, but he done pretty good tonight. If just my opinion of it, we can't put all the blame on him all the time. That goes for receivers when the ball hits them in the hands and in between the numbers, and they can't catch it, and they're wide open or whatever. It falls on the players too. That's one thing I've always heard Coach Saban talk about in all of his press conferences. Sometimes they have to put the responsibility on themselves. Accountability. Accountability falls not only with the coaches, but also with the players. They're the ones on the field playing. They're just getting the plays from the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. So it's got to fall on them sometimes. I know they're doing the best they can, and I'm proud of Alabama tonight. It was an excellent game. It's the kind of a game that I like to see, but sometimes we need those nail biters just to keep us on our toes and remind us that to be the best, you've got to play the best. So I'm not talking about the other team being the best. I'm talking about just playing at your best level that you possibly can. But other than that, y'all roll tide. God bless. God bless America. Y'all have a great night.
Hey, great call, Jay.
Thank you.
God bless you too, brother. Thanks for the call. Great call. Look over in Louisiana, and we've talked to Jay in the past, and he always brings it. What do you think?
What about which one?
About what he said. About what he said.
I thought it was. I mean, it was really good. I mean, you got to go through tough times as a team. They went through it early, and especially, for them to come out tonight and play the way they did. I think this team is just, and again, not growing up, but just growing in chemistry and connectivity and understanding kind of. I mean, there is a chemistry and a feel that you got to have on the field as a team, and you only can get that in games. So the more games they play together, I think the team's going to get better. And I, look, you want balance on both sides of the football. I mean, as far as running pass, but a lot of times you're going to have to do certain things that are different. And the way Bryce throws the ball, the way he can run around, make plays, the way he can extend plays is such a weapon. And that's why Alabama was able to win a couple games even last year because of his ability to do that. So, look, Bill O'Brien, in my mind, is really good at what he does. I've known Bill for a long time, or not, a pretty long time, and I've gotten to know him even recently more. And, he knows what he's doing. I think he tries to do a lot of what Bryce likes to do and wants to do on the field, and really looks to him to say, okay, what kind of plays you want to run today? What are you looking at? Bryce is not a big trick play guy, so don't worry about that as much. There'll be a few during the season, but they'll save him for the right time. But, I agree with the caller, though. I mean, this was the moment tonight. It looked like, everybody's talked about this called in. We've talked about it. They looked the most complete team that we've seen them so far. They looked the best they've looked all year tonight against Vandy, with a big 55-3 win. Yep.
You couldn't have said it any better. All right, let's go through some comments, Jay, before we get off here tonight. Here's one that I love, okay? Because I've called On 3 the new world order of broadcasting, right? Of coverage of Alabama, right? And and someone thought that I meant new world order as a political group. But no, I mean wrestling, right?
Right. Yes.
And so Kevlar here says that I'm Scott Hall, hey yo, and you're Kevin Nash, what makes us the outsiders, right?
That's
and he says that Kyle would be Hollywood Hogan, which I love. But the funny thing about this is that Ben Ingram is the play-by-play voice of the Atlanta Braves, and Ben and I are really tight, and we both love the outsiders. So every time we talk to each other, we start the call with, hey, yo. So being Scott Hall, that's a good one for me. I love that. That is really funny. Do you remember those guys? Did you watch wrestling?
I watched it. I wasn't into it like some people are, but I did watch it. I do remember the outsiders. And a buddy of mine, his son, he's got a Instagram called Ronos, and he does a ton of stuff with Hulk Hogan. So I've had a chance to kind of get to know Hulk through him. And with the Gronk brothers as well, which are all down in the Tampa area now. So if you go on Instagram, watch Ronos, and it's Ronos on Instagram. I think it's just at Ronos, and unbelievable. He's, I think Rose now, 8 or 9 years old, but he can do all the Hulk Hogan impersonations. He does Rocky impersonations.
Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
Yeah, he's been on national news.
Yeah, he came in.
He was on Entertainment Tonight the night.
Yeah, he came in the Hawks gym one time.
Yeah,
over in
he's
Tampa.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. All right, let's go to Adam's comment here. I threw it up a minute ago, but watch Jay in the '92 national championship game beat Miami. The defense was nasty, and you were very good in a balanced offense. He says we need more balance in our offense.
Well, I mean, you need it when you need it, right? So if you got to pass, you pass. You got to run, you run. And to say we had much balance against Miami, I think I was 3 of 8. Well, I was 5 of 8. I had 3 receptions, 2 interceptions. So I count the interceptions as completions. But I was like 3 of 8 for like 28 yards in that game. We ran the ball for 370 yards in that game against Miami. We just knew we could run it against them. And they had a great defense. And it was, I was a sophomore at that time. It was like an unbelievable experience. But, Gene Stallings was definitely one of the best, and in my mind, the best, because he was my coach and just such a great man, and a guy that really understood how to coach guys, teach them how to be men. Not saying Nick Saban's not. He's done a tremendous job with my son Braxton. Other guys, Braxton and GA now with him on that offensive side of the ball. But your own coach kind of you always have that feeling towards them. He was like a father figure to me. But, great man.
Yeah, Gino Torretta is actually a great guy, too. You've become friends with him.
Guy, yeah.
J.P. Shadrick, who went to school with me here at Alabama and does play-by-play for the Jaguars and some national stuff as well. He does shows for the Jaguars like this.
Yeah.
But he works some with Gino, and so I've heard – I don't know him like you know him, but I've only heard what a cool guy he is.
Terrific guy, and he's so humble about that game. Like, he doesn't say anything bad. He's always said, look, y'all were the better team that night. He said his best memory of that night was the tiles on the ceiling of the Superdome. That's all he saw all night. And he said, I didn't realize how big Copeland and Curry were. Because, Copeland was, 6'8"? He didn't weigh 300 pounds, probably like 290, but could run like a deer. John Copeland was a little bit shorter, about 6'5", 6'6", but he was closer to 300 pounds. But those two guys with all of our players in that defense that year were just unbelievable. Best defense I ever played against. I played against them every day in practice.
Right. You got to see them every day.
Best ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Good game plan by Bill O'Brien. We kind of got into this before. Good execution by the offense. But I agree with this too. We got very spoiled by receivers that rarely drop the ball. When Smitty was at Alabama, what did he have, like 3 drops his entire career? Something crazy like that?
Yeah.
Waddle and Ruggs and Judy never dropped the ball. Before that, Ridley
Those
didn't
are all
hardly
first
drop
rounders.
the balls. Right, and that's what I'm saying. You're going back Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Julio. If Julio dropped the ball, the next 5 he would catch and just run over a guy because on purpose, just because he was upset about it. Though,
right.
There are a lot more drops, but I think Bryce Young, Jay, does a really good job of when they do drop the ball, just going back and
he doesn't care.
Move on to the next play.
That's right. He does a great job keeping their confidence up. But again, the comparison is going to be there, so they know that they own it. But you're talking about first-round draft picks. You're talking about guys who were won the Heisman or up for the Heisman, guys who were All-Americans at their position. So you don't get those year in, year out. But let these guys develop. These guys are still, again, learning the chemistry. Some of the guys are still very young, and their playing time. They're going to be good. I think Jacory's got the size. He's got the speed. Trahan Holden's got it as well. I think Burton's going to be a great possession receiver. I think he's getting a good feel. I think he can also be a deep threat as well. And I'm telling you, Isaiah Bonds, everybody talks about him in practice of how good he looks, that he could be that next kind of guy that steps up. And then we've seen Kobe Prentice really step as a freshman. A lot of great athletes, a lot of great talent there. Give them time, give them patience. But I love that about Bryce Young. And actually, my sister texted me tonight. She's like, I just love Bryce. She said, man, he's just such a cool, calm guy. Well, she actually teaches with his mom. His mom teaches at Trustful at the elementary school, Payne Elementary School. She's there, works there. And my sister always gets there and goes, man, he plays so good. And she's like, their family is such a great family. They're so humble. And you see why he is the type of person that he is, the type of player that he is. And he is. He's great with his teammates, but he doesn't go out and do all the stuff a lot of the other guys do. He kind of goes back to his place. He'll bring guys over there. They'll hang out and stuff. But he's not going to go out there and jeopardize his career and the things that he wants to accomplish. Very focused, young man. Very proud of what he's done so far, and hopefully he'll carry this team to the national title.
All right. Well, Jay, final thoughts before we wrap up our show after a 55-3 win over Vandy.
Yeah, what can you say? What can you really complain about? And I know you're about to party at Westgate, so that's let you go here in a second. But I can hear him already getting rowdy on top of the Westgate area. But it's, a complete win. Offense, defense, special teams. They played so well. The coaches got to be proud of how they played. No serious injuries. Hopefully Byron Young will get back from the ankle injury. But we saw Cameron Latu come back. So I think a big win. Alabama fans enjoy it, and we'll get ready for next week. Big game on the road to Arkansas because they lost tonight. They're going to be wanting revenge or get back in the hunt, and they're going to have some corrections to make. But I think Alabama's looking good right now. Best game I've seen them play this year.
Look, guys, we're hanging out at Westgate Luxury Condominiums. If you're in the market right now to buy a home, you want some property, come here right now. Alice Maxwell with Keller Williams Realty. She runs this as far as like the units, 1 to 5 bedroom units. There are still some available. She stopped by last week, actually hooked me up. So
where's Alice tonight?
I didn't see her. They know Alice. Roll Tide.
With the Westgate,
I also got a tip. I got a tip from somebody. Yeah. Woo!
Did you really?
Yeah.
What'd you do, Mick?
I'm going to split this with you, Jay, right here.
Okay, good. The dollar?
Yeah. That's the first one I've gotten, though, in person. But, yeah, I mean, it's awesome up here, Jay. You need to come up and hang out with us in person.
I've been up there many times. Haven't been there with you, and haven't been there for the show yet, but that place is phenomenal.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
WestgateAL.com. If you're coming to town, you can rent some of these units as well. And again, 900 to 3,000 square feet. You got the oversized balconies. You get the view that we got right here, just depending on where the unit is. But it could be Bryant-Denny. It could be the Strip. It could be Tuscaloosa, just depending on where you're at. But, I mean, you're kind of all, you're in the mix here. The Strip's right there. I see Denny Chimes. I see the Walk of Champions. So all that stuff's right here, WestgateAL.com. And, do yourself a favor. If you're going to be in town, either rent one. And if you're in the market to buy, check it out for yourself.
We need to tell Alice, for the Auburn game at least, that we get our best callers that call in each week, that they get to be invited up to the top of the Westgate after the game, and we get them on live.
That'd be
like
fun.
A live show with all the callers that call in, because we have some guys that are very consistent about it every week.
And that'd be great. Yeah. Have a little party for our crew here.
Yeah.
For our family.
That's right.
On Bama Insider. All right, look, one more time, let me remind you guys, Bama Insider, part of On 3 now. You can be part of that as well. Go to BamaInsider.com and subscribe, and you get all the inside coverage on the latest in recruiting with Andrew Bone, Joseph Hastings. You get the entire On 3 staff of recruiting experts across the country, and they're going to let you know who's coming to Alabama. There were 2 big commitments this week, but we've been telling you, and they've been writing it on those message boards for weeks, that they felt like Renaud and Hale were both going to come, right? And they ended up saying they are. But if you want the latest on those guys, go to BamaInsider.com. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Yeah, we're having some fun up here, Jay.
I know.
Give us a thumbs up on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Jay and I will be back on Tuesday and then again on Thursday with our show midday. You've got Monday Night Quarterback on Monday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to break down everything Alabama. That'll be at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time. You got Bones Recruiting Show on Tuesday. And then, all the way up until we preview Alabama football coming up Friday night, Friday 6 to 8, the tailgate show. And then, Jay, after the game on Saturday, like we're doing now, we'll get back together and take calls and do all that. We got a call-in show during the week. We got a lot of stuff going on. Anytime Nick Saban speaks, we're going to put it up here as well. Anytime the players talk, we'll have that. And anytime there's breaking news, that this is your spot for it. And you don't even have to give me this. But one of these right now will get you a year subscription to Bama.
There you go. Good job.
Which I didn't know that they were still doing it, but they are still doing it. And one of these right here. There's not much that you can get with one of these, but you can get 12 months. Bama Insider on 3. Jay, awesome hanging out with you. Chris, great job. I'm Mick Gillispie. Roll Tide, everybody. 55-3. Alabama heading into Arkansas week 4-0, number 2 in the country with some momentum. We'll talk to you then. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.